Preview.
Top 20 interesting facts about the horrifying 9/11 bombing. Last September 11, 2001, 4 coordinated attacks led by Islamic group of terrorists terrified the whole world. Twin Towers, World Trade Center and Pentagon are crashed through planes hijacked by these terrorists, resulting in thousands of lives perished. Osama bin Laden admitted his involvement in the terrorism that happened in America, as he stated that he directed the hijackers to target the buildings. Manhunt by American Special Forces and killed on May 2011 in Pakistan. Other than this fact, there are 20 more interesting facts about the 9/11 bombing that you must know. Number 1. 37% of 9/11 bombing victims are not yet identified. There are still more than 1,000 victims of the attack whose remains are not yet identified by the forensics. There are over 9,000 human remains that are, however, to be examined, and the number increases each year, which became the strength of the families that hasn't found the bodies of their loved ones yet. Number 2. Hijackers created a secret code for the attack. Just how smart they can be. In their internet chat room, one of them sent a love note to his German girlfriend that talks about a semester in 3 weeks, 19 educators, and 4 types of examinations. Now, looking closely, everything makes sense about the 2 Twin Towers, 19 hijackers, and 4 planes. They also monitor the bombing closely, as 5 of them checked in a motel near the American spy organization before the attacks. Number 3. White House is the real target of the 4th plane that crashes in Pennsylvania. 2 planes hit the Twin Tower, the other one is in Pentagon. The 4th that crashed in Pennsylvania is supposedly hitting the White House. A passenger on board is noticed to create a phone call about New York attack. The terrorist fought back and crashed the plane in the fields of Pennsylvania instead. Number 4. There is only one copy of the actual moment the plane hit the tower. By coincidence, a filmmaker Gideon Naughton is working on a documentary about New York firefighters. A gas leak is being responded as they heard the loud noise of plane coming. He opened his camera by instinct and caught the actual footage when the first plane hit the tower. Unlike the second plane, where everyone's attention is already on the tower, and millions of people previously recorded the incident. Number 5. Rise in vices consumption. In the week when 9/11's happened, a rise in vices consumption is noticed in the statistics, where people may have found comfort. There is a 25% increase in alcohol and 10% in cigarettes. Attendance in churches and synagogues rise by 20% too. Number 6. Air-related diseases continuously kill people after 9/11's. Almost 500,000 people are exposed to a toxic cloud of asbestos on that day. These poisonous airs caused respiratory problems like lung inflammation, asthma and inhaling abnormalities. Around 21,000 people are favorable to these diseases. The effects are to be expected until the end of 2041. Number 7. Dogs get depressed for not finding bodies on the site. During the rescue operation, only 18 people are found alive with the help of sniffer dogs. After that day, there are rarely living person found, which caused anxiety and depression in the dogs. Dogs are intelligent animals that might think they are not useful for their jobs. As a countermeasure, there are times that authorities ask people to hide in the rubble to keep up the dog's spirits that they can still find survivors within the search. Number 8. It took 100 days to take off the fire. It's been over 3 months, but the fire keeps burning until the season to celebrate Christmas. Tons and tons of flammable office equipment is the reason why they keep burning. A constant jet of water needs to be sprayed gradually to put off the fire successfully. Every single day, a fire truck is on standby to continuously lessen the fire in the site. Number 9. A company lost two-thirds of its whole workforce. 658 employees died from a company based on the Twin Tower. The chairman is free to close the business for the disaster, but chose to keep it for the families of the remaining workforce population they had. $180 million is given to the victims' families in 5 years. Number 10. A miracle happened in Stairwell B. Everything else collapsed in the North Tower, except for one of the staircases in the middle of the building, which is called Stairwell B. All 16 people left there survived, including the firefighters. Would you believe that 110 stories are crashing upon them, but the staircase remains intact? The survivors cannot believe what happened that gave them the psychological guilt of why they survived when everyone else died. Number 11. A dog made a heroic job of her master. A dog is labeled a man's best friend for a reason, and one of these dogs is a yellow Labrador named Roselle. A blind owner owns her, Michael Hingson, whom she guided down to 78 stories of North Tower and survived. Michael found himself at a friend's house and shocked about the facts of the incident afterward. Number 12. More than $100 million is lost in the 9/11 bombing. Aside from the lives lost are items that cost $1 million collapsed with the Twin Tower. It includes Alexander Calder's sculpture, John Rowe's tapestry, Roy Lichtenstein's entablature series, and Picasso paintings. They also found 437 watches, 144 wedding rings, and 65,000 personal items on this site. Number 13. A 3-day flight ban to the US is taken advantage by the scientists. Scientists immediately researched the effects of planes in the atmosphere when a 3-day ban of jets is announced in the United States. They discovered the days get a little warmer and nights gets a little cooler. It is all because the plane trails acted as clouds that shield the Earth from the sun. Number 14. If security measures are stricter, then the ringleader might get caught. Muhammad Atta is the 9/11's ringleader who checked in at an airport in Boston. Unfortunately, even though his name alerted the airport's security, they still let him in together with his bags without suspicion. Number 15. If it is your time, you'll die. John Patrick O'Neill is a particular FBI agent previously in charge in the first World Trade Center attack at Al-Qaeda in 1993. He quit his job due to some disagreement and worked as the head security of World Trade Center instead. He died on the 9/11 bombing. Number 16. Cows represent life. The Maasai tribesmen from Kenya decided to donate 14 cows to the United States after the 9/11 incident. Cows are sacred animals to them, since they believe that cow means life. Number 17. There is only one off-duty officer who died from 9/11. Officer John Perry remains true to his service as he rushed to the 9/11 bombing site when he was notified of the first strike of the plane at the first tower. He aims to rescue people on his last day as an officer, even though he is about to file retirement papers on the same day. He died when one of the towers collapsed. Number 18. The only meeting they should not cancel. A meeting at the 88th floor is drafted to discuss emergency plans whenever a terrorist attack takes place is cancelled and rescheduled before the 9/11 bombing because a person is unable to participate. Do you think more lives will be saved if the meeting proceeded? Number 19. A fake dramatic story of a 9/11 survivor. Tania Head becomes famous because she is one of the survivors with a comic story from the South Tower. She told the public that a man handed her a wedding ring to be given to his wife before the man rescued people. She becomes the face of 9/11 survivors because of a made-up story, only to find out that she was not even in the country when the incident happened. she's in a graduate school in Barcelona. Number 20. Whale stress levels increased following the 9/11 attack. Since planes are banned for 3 days in the United States, the only mode of transportation is by land and sea. The scientists noticed that the whales' stress levels increased by examining their stools. It is due to a countless number of ship traffic as an alternative transportation.